And under validation, there is one very important topic. Just about going through the syllabus. Let us go through the syllabus so that we will not miss any topic. Okay. So the module pool programming technique, that's fine. A screen painter, we have seen how to create the screen event handling in dialog screen flow. This is okay. PAI, PBO, PAI and PBO, we have seen. POV and POH we'll have to see. The validation here, the automatic, there are three types of validation actually. Okay, automatic field validation, this we have seen. This is the flow logic validation, and the most important one is this one, the module pool validation. The third one is the most important one. Okay, so under this validation, I will just cover that, the one which I have missed. So let's go there. Okay, different types of validation. So there are three types of validation. Selecting the required field. Okay, so different types of validation. What I will do, let me delete this one and I will write it over here, the validation once again. So under this validation, we have the one is the automatic validation. Automatic validation. So the automatic validation is nothing but just you are going to select the mandatory field on the screen property. Selecting the mandatory field from the screen property, and the rest of the thing will be done by the SAP itself. Okay, from the screen properties. So you don't have to write any message or something like that. Automatically the message will be shown by the SAP. Automatically the message will be shown by the SAP. So that's the one. Okay, that's the one. Another validation we have, the flow logic validation. Okay, the flow logic validation. The second validation, we have the flow logic validation. Okay, so this flow logic validation, what is this? This we will see quickly. Flow logic validation, and then we will see about the module pool validation. Okay, so under the flow of the program itself, we are going to give the allowed value. We are going to give the allowed values, and apart from that value, if we are going to give someone, then it will give the error. We will see that the second one, and the third one is the module pool validation. Okay, this is the module level validation or module pool validation. So this is the important one. This is the very important. Okay, the second and third one is the most important. Out of second and third, the third one is the very important. Okay, this we will see, then we'll write it over here. Just go to the system, and there we will write our existing module pool program, and we will try to understand what is that flow logic validation and what is the module pool validation. Okay, so we'll open one existing program which we have already developed, and there only we'll try to look into this particular concept. Go to SCAT. This is the best way to explore the module pool programming, right? Come over here and go to this transaction, actually run this one, and the first number, second number. Suppose here just I want to give a 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, only 10 values. The first number value I want to give 1 to 10, and the second also I want to give from 1 to 10. So like that, if you want to give some particular value, that is known as the flow logic validation. How to achieve that one? We'll go to the PAI of this particular screen. We know that this screen is the 100 over there where we have designed, right? Go to this, you know, go to the 100 number screen, and then under the process after input, what you will have to do, go into the change mode, and here you will have to use the field command, okay, the field syntax. So the field, for which field you want to put that validation, that you will have to identify. So if you remember, that field is nothing but the first underscore n. That is the name of the field, first underscore n. Okay, you can go and verify, go to the layout, and if you double click on that field, it will give you the name of that particular field. So we have already given the name for that. Okay, double click on this, and first underscore n is the name. So that's what we are trying to, you know, put the validation for the first underscore n. Okay, and you can give the values over here, and the list of the values which you want to put over there, that you can give over here in the single quotes. Okay, so you want to give 1 2 3 4 5 like that. Okay, so 4, so whatever the value you want to give, just you can give like this. Just I have given the 4 value over here, and then give the full stop. Okay, it's coming in the red color, you don't have to bother about this, it comes like red only. Let's check the syntax. Some error is there, comma without preceding colon. Okay, that's fine. Give the, you know, this colon chain operator have just given over here. Values can only be specified with the format called character. Okay, values can only be specified. Okay, I have taken this as an integer. Okay, so that's why it's giving the error. Let me try without giving any character, but I don't think so it will help us to remove the issue. Just let me check. It's giving the error. You can see the values can only be with this format. So what I will do, this kind of validation is not possible with the integral value. What actually the system is telling, if you want to apply such kind of validation, the data type for this must be of character type or numeric character type. Okay, so I'm just going to change its a data type from, you know, number to character. Come over here, first number, it's already a string data type. I'm going to give you know, that already it was a string. I have given over there a 1 or something like that. So let me do one thing. If I'm going to select the character over there, and we will try by selecting the character over there. Okay, just save it, check the syntax. So now the error in a specified value help values. Okay, let me check the syntax. Actually, it seems some problem is there in the syntax. So press F1. I have just put the cursor on the field. I pressed F1. I will check the possible syntaxes. Okay, it has not appeared. Field, press field over here. The field, get cursor, get cursor. This is not the value into read line. Field value, field format, field selection, table field in pro statement. This I was looking about. Okay, this one, field values, though it has been obsolete, you can see that it is an obsolete syntax, but still we should know. Field f values, not, that's fine. Here we have, right, let's have the process after input, that's okay. Field connect, field carrier. Here you can see that we have one example. After the process after input, the field carrier and then values like this. Just I will copy this one and I will try to use over there and we will see. Okay, come over here, control V, field carrier, For field carrier, I'm just going to use this first underscore n, the values, that's fine. You can see that between and all these things you can use, right? The option you can use not, if you don't want to use this not, between, if you want to use between QF and UA, you can give all such kind of option is possible. Okay, I want to populate the list of option for this first underscore n. That's why I'm trying to this 1 and then 2. Let me try with this. I'm going to comment this one, check the syntax now, and there is no error. So some, some problem was there. We are supposed to put into the single quotes here. When I choose the character, then I was supposed to put into the single quotes, and then it would have worked here as well. Okay, and come over here, give this 3 and then give this 4. This will also work now. You can comment this one and just check the syntax. There is no error. No, some error has come, error in specified values. What's the problem? Failed. Check the syntax now. No, field first underscore n, this values we have given 1 comma 2 comma 3 4. Okay, this space is creating the problem. Okay, so the space between this 1 and this opening bracket, that was creating the problem. This chain operator will not create any problem. Okay, so you can see that now it's working. Okay, so here just save it, check the syntax, activate this one, and now if we're going to run this transaction, then you can see here you are getting this F4 button. Press F4 and you can see that 1 2 3 4 only you are getting over here. If you give another value, for example, if we're going to give 5 and press enter, you can see the enter a valid value. So this is also a kind of validation. This is known as flow level validation, right? Now you might be thinking that we have to specify the long number, right? So if you have large number, then how to do? In that case, you can use the between command, right? Just we have seen under the documentation, they have documented, right? Press F1 and go to that documentation, and from there you can copy that particular, you know, uh, that between command, right? So field selection set parameter, where that gone? Field din pro, field symbol, field din pro, field din pro field. I'm not able to get this time, no problem. What you can do that, you can write like this, between, okay, between 1 and 100. Okay, so if we're going to write like this, you will be able to allow, just let me check the syntax first, it's working fine. And come over here, run this, press F8. Okay, so between 1 and 100 only will be able to give the value over here, right? From 1 and to 100. If you give any value other than that, for example 101, and press enter, you can see enter a valid value. But if we're going to give the value 99, and 99, then this one also is creating the problem, right? Enter a valid value from 1 to 99. Okay, some mistake maybe I'm doing over here. Enter a valid value, it's not taking. Go to SE80 once again, and we will see if we have to give the large amount of value. Okay, some problem is there under the syntax, otherwise it works between 1 and 100. Okay, I have prepared one note also, maybe I can refer that note. Let me go to that note, and from there I will check. come over here into this, and I have the notes available over here. Mara, this values between, we'll have to write like values between, okay, field, that the field name and the values between I'll have to give. Let's go there and we will write. I have given this between this is not required, I think. Check the syntax now. Error specified values, okay, between 1 and 100. Let me check with this. This is also not working. This is the syntax which we are supposed to use. Field these values between this and this. That's fine. Field this values first underscore n between this and this. That's perfect. This is right. I don't know why it's not working over here. Okay, it's not working. Okay, however, but we have seen that, if the list of value if we have to give, just we can give this between. I will check why it's not working. Let's not give more time over here. But by this way, generally it is very less used, very less used. Check the syntax. This is working fine over here, right? This is working fine over here. Activate this one, activate this one. The between one I will check and let you know. So this is known as the flow level validation. Flow level validation. Okay, now what is the module level validation? Okay, what is the module level validation? Before going towards the module level validation, one more thing I would like to get your attention over here, that you have another field called second number, right? So for the second number also, suppose if you want to do this validation, second underscore n values, and second value also, suppose if you want to put 5 6 7 something like that, right? 5 6 and 7, like that you want to put. So if you check the syntax, this should be fine. You're unable to interpret values, some space just give. Check the syntax now, and values can only be with the format. That's fine, that's okay. Second field also I will just go and make as a character. Earlier we have given as a string. For a string format it's not allowing, so if some error is there it will just give. Okay, go here and I will choose this string character format. I have selected this character format, save it, go to this flow logic and just save from here. Check the syntax and this is fine. Activate it. It got activated now. Go to this transaction, run this. Okay, and here also now you are able to see that 5 6 7 only is coming. Now what actually I'm trying to tell you over here, that suppose if we're going to give some value is not in this possible list. So what you do, if you press enter, you can see that second number also got disabled, right? Second number field also got disabled. This should not happen, right? So if a single field is there, if we're going to use this this way, that's fine, because it's enabled already, so there is no problem with the single field. But if you have the multiple field over there, and if some problem in a field is there, some validation is going to get fail, in that case another field is going to disable. That should not happen. So to avoid that, we have a command called chain. Okay, to avoid that, we have a command called chain. So how to use that chain command? How to use that chain command? We'll go to that PAI only, where we have written the logic. Go to this 100. Under the PAI, what you will have to do, this field you will have to put under the chain and chain, chain and end chain. That's it. This much only you'll have to do, and it will solve your problem. It will solve your problem. Just go to this transaction, run this one, and now I'm going to give the 8 over here and press enter. You can see that this time it's not getting disabling. Okay, so this time you it does not, it's not getting revealing. This is a very important interview question. Okay, very important interview question. So what the question will be there from the interviewer, that that the question is going to have like this. Question is uh, how to, or what is the difference between, what is the difference between chain and field command. Okay, chain and field command, they can ask the question like this: field, chain and field command. Okay, this is one question can be asked. In the different way, what they will ask, that the question, suppose, so if you have one field to validate in module pool, then what technique you will use, what syntax you will use, what technique you will use. Okay, another question they will ask, they can ask that if you have multiple fields, then what technique, if you have multiple fields and if you want to validate, if you have multiple fields to be validated, then what techniques, what technique will be used? Okay, so the answer, can you tell me the answer now over here? If you have one field to validate in module pool, then what technique you will use, which syntax you will use? Can you tell? Can anyone of you just ping me over here? Your answer should be the field command. Okay, yes, you will have to use the field syntax. You will have to use the field syntax. This is the syntax you have. Okay, if you have the multiple fields to be validated, you have to put the field, inside the chain command. You have to put the field inside the chain command. You will have to tell like this, and it will be, your interviewer will be happy with this answer because your answer is correct. So the field one, and here field 2, you can give the name of the field what you have given on the screen. Okay, if at any point of time if you're not able to understand what I'm writing over here, please feel free to ask, because I'm putting a lot of effort to make you understand. And if still you are not able to understand, don't hesitate to ask, because it will, just I might be missing a small point which is not triggering in your mind. So that point I will try to mention over there. So don't hesitate if you are not able to understand, because my intention is to make you understand at any cost. Okay, that's why I'm writing over here. Otherwise I would have already written this PPT and I have shown you just by reading over there. Why I write over here, the reason behind that, the attention and the focus will be more over here. I have many PPT already prepared by me. I would have used that one, but the reason I'm not using that, because if I simply read those PPT, it will not make more sense and you will not have the more focus over there. That's why I try putting some diagram, I try writing over here so that you have more focus. So please feel free to ask if you have any question, don't hesitate. Okay, even a simple question, if you feel like you can ask, you can chat or you can unmute yourself and you can ask me without any other thought. Okay, so if you have multiple fields to be validated, then what techniques will be used? You will have to put this field under the chain and end chain. Okay, under the chain and end chain, and under the chain and end chain. So why we are supposed to put under the chain and end chain? Because that the problem happens, the another field which is there on the screen, that will be grayed out. there will be no other problem. This is the only problem will happen. You will be able to validate with the help of this only, but other field will be grayed out. So to avoid that problem, they might be asked after this question, if you have multiple fields to be validated, then what technique will be used? If we're going to tell this, okay, if we're going to tell this particular answer, then they will tell, if you don't use chain and end chain, what problem will happen? Okay, they will ask you, if you don't use this chain and end chain, what problem will happen? Or they can also ask why this chain and end chain is used. If you don't use chain and end chain, what problem will occur? Okay, we'll have to tell other field will be grayed out. Okay, other, suppose if we're not going to use this chain and end chain, the field which is not getting validated means the field which is not having the correct value, and if we're pressing enter, the another field will be grayed out. Just if you tell another field will be grayed out, they will understand that you understand the concept. Another field will be grayed out. Grayed out. Another field will be grayed out. Okay, another field will be grayed out apart from the one which we are validating, which we are validating currently. We are validating currently. So you have seen that. You have seen that. If I don't give the chain and end chain, and if this is going to create the problem, okay.
So,
Yeah, tell me. Yes.
so if we use the screen field validation, then it is then can we use that particular field validation also on the particular
No,
fields
but
like
why
this
you
one?
will use that? Suppose if you are using the screen level validation, then any one of that we are supposed to use. Means why multiple? Means the multiple. If you want to use, you can use. There is no problem. This will be taken. The preference over the screen field. You can just check once. Okay, this should be taken the preference on the screen properties. Means this will be allowed value will be there as per my understanding. You can just check it. I don't remember exactly. Okay, so there also you can check now itself. You can go and check. Go to this layout, and we'll check the required field over there. Go here, and you can check. Go to this program. Input field is the required, and go to this flow logic, just save it, check the syntax, activate this one, and just run now. Okay. Here that field is showing as a mandatory. You can see that this field is showing as a mandatory. So anyway, this will be a mandatory only, right? This will be a mandatory. If we're going to give that 4 value, right? If we're going to give that 4 value, 1 2 3 4, you must have to enter one of that value. So the field level, the flow logic or the flow logic level validation is the superset of this particular things. Okay, this will be covered under the flow logic validation. You must have to select earlier also, now also, so it is going to satisfy both the condition, right? Because you have selected over here. And now if you press enter, it's telling the valid value, because here we have not given any valid value. That's why. Run this one and enter a valid value. Now also it's telling enter a valid value. Why it's telling enter a valid value? We have selected the 2 over here. Okay, let me check what is the problem. Why it's not going back into a valid value? Okay, we have not used the at exit command over here, is it? Let me first correct over there so that I will go every time back and go to this 100, and that here, go to this 100 and I'm going to create one module. Yesterday we have discussed module exit at exit command. You'll have to check if the exit command that the type has been selected as exit or not. Go to this PBI, go to this status 100, come over there, go to here, go to this back normal application function. I'm going to choose this exit command, click on this save, activate, just go back, and now I will write the code under this 100. Go here 100 and double click on this yes button. Yes, in the main program itself I'm writing this one. I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. I have enabled only for the back button, that exit one, so this is fine. Now it's okay. Some error is there when it's allowed with the case only. That's fine. Case psi hyphen ucom and then the end case. Check the syntax now. Activate this one. We have activated. Right click and activate. Everything is now activated. Now go here, run this, and this is fine. Okay, I'm just going back and we have come back. Okay, fine. So we'll go to this 100. It's giving some problem over here. I'm selecting the value from here 1 2 3 4, and here also I'm selecting this value 6. So this is the valid value, but still it's telling the enter a valid value. So this problem may be due to the fact that we are using the at the two places. So what I will do that I will just go back, and here I will go to this 100, go to this layout, and I'm going to remove that screen properties. So I think either you can give the screen properties that required field or else the field level validation. Okay, so just first let me check and then go to this program, go into the change mode first, remove this required. Okay, just save it and flow logic, just save, activate. Okay, and go to this and now run this, give some value, select from here 2, I'm selecting from here 6, run, press, and here enter a valid value. Here also it's telling enter a valid value. Why it is so? It should not show actually like this. Okay, go back, let me do one thing. I will just refresh this session /n sc 80 and I will check what is the problem. Go to this transaction, run this once again, and let us see. I have given that allowed value only, and here also I have given the allowed value. Press enter. This is enter a valid value it's giving. Okay, no issue. I'll go to just go back from here itself. Go to this screen, click on this 100, and let us check. Field, this is first underscore n field. This is fine. Okay. Okay. Enter the valid value. Why it's coming enter the valid value? Hmm. It should not come enter the valid value like that. This possible we are choosing. Here also the possible we have, that is fine. First underscores n, second underscore n. This is okay. It looks good to me. Chain and end chain, that's fine. This is perfect. Okay, I will debug. We don't have other option over here apart from debugging. It should not display, but just the basic level test I will do. Enter a valid value over here. Okay, so 2 or 6, 2 or 6. Let me do one thing, just to go back once again, and there is some problem. There is some problem. Let me do one thing. I'm going to remove this another field, this chain also. I'm going to remove this chain also. Check the syntax, activate this one, activate, and run this. Give the value from here to and press enter. At this point of time also it's telling enter a valid value. So from where it's coming, just I want to check. Okay, so activate the debugger. I want to check why this problem is coming and press enter. And the field value that you can see that here it's coming, right? And it's trying to validate. When it's trying to validate, okay, okay, from here itself it's giving the error, enter a valid value. You can see that it's giving the error, enter a valid value. Why it's not recognizing? Okay, that's the important question over here. Why it's not recognizing? Okay, it should recognize actually. It is understanding this 2 as an integer. Okay, this the system is not able to understand this 2 as a character. That's the problem. Okay, that's the problem. I can show you once again. Press enter and go to this breakpoint and activate the go to this settings actually, and go to this change debugger profile and click on this system debugging. Okay, save this one, and if you press F5 it will trigger the system program, and here you can see that this perform, this some code is running, and this, if you check about this code, if you run this code, you will come to know that from where this error is coming. Okay, so as per my understanding, it is not able to understand that this is the problem is for the with respect to integer and character. Okay, the problem is with respect to integer and character. So there are the system generated code is here, the system code is there. If you just debug it, and this is little challenging to debug this system code. Okay, but if you debug it, this is the ABAP code only, you will be able to understand what is the problem. Okay, so it may take some time to debug, but just let me check quickly if I can show you from where that error is coming. Okay, so the best way, let's use the dynamic breakpoint. Okay, press F8. Okay, enter a value, copy this message number, copy this one, come over here, /h, press enter, and press enter once again. Oh, 72 I have given, sorry. Press F8, give the value 2 over here, a valid value I am giving, press enter once again, and now go to this breakpoint at the message. Over here you can go, and here what you have, the message number you got like this. So the first 2 digit represents the message ID, and the last 3 digit represents the message number. So the message ID I'm just giving 00 over here, and the last 3 digit 002 it is, so 002 I'm giving over here. Click on this OK button and just press F8. Okay, it is not capturing, it didn't stop over there, so maybe it is this enter a valid value is getting triggered from some another place. We have to put more of effort over there to identify from where it's coming, right? However, what I will do that as a common check, I will just try to enter some character value. Okay, some character value I will enter and I will check if it still gives the value. Okay, so the first underscore n is of the character data type, right? So suppose if I'm going to give like this 1 2, right, 3, and then the 4, and we will see how it's working. Just save it, check the syntax now. Some problem. 4 4 4, this is fine. Where is the period missing? The level validation. Check the syntax, and this is fine. Activate this one, run this, press F8, press F4, and select this one, press enter. Enter a valid value. Here also it's giving enter a valid value. Why? I need to check it why it's showing. We have given the valid value itself. It should not give the valid value, error. So this action is on me. Okay, I will check why it's happening. It should not happen exactly. But however, this answer, you remember, this is the correct answer. This is the perfect one. This all things is uh, correct over here. That chain and end chain, all this thing is the same way it will work. This chain and end chain. Okay. I will show you the module pool level validation. The third validation, we have the module pool level validation. This one. The second, I will check why this is happening. Okay, and this is the action on me. I will show you in the tomorrow class. Check the flow logic validation. Okay. Module pool validation. What is this module pool validation? Under the module pool validation, this is the most widely used validation. Okay, this module pool validation is the most widely and frequently used validation. What actually we are supposed to do over here? Suppose if you have to display your custom message, you can use the module pool validation. Okay, suppose if you have to display the custom message, you can use the module pool validation. For example over here, the field first underscore n, and here you can create your own module to validate this particular first underscore n. So field I am using for the validation purpose. This field command is used for the validation person, same as over here, we are using, right? In the same way, field first underscore n module, and the name of the module we can write the validation. Okay, validation. Double click over here, click on this yes button, select the main program itself, click on this OK, and click on this yes button. Here you can write the logic. So if first underscore n is initial, then you can write it over here like enter some value. Okay, you can give the message that enter some value, type E. Okay, pretty printer, check the syntax, activate this one, it got activated. Go to this 100 over here, and this, just see over here, activate over here once again, right click, I will activate everything in order to avoid any kind of problem. Valid, put the breakpoint over here. Now go to this transaction, run this one, and here if you press enter, you can see that that particular validation is getting called, right, from this PAI 100, this validation. Okay, that module validation is getting called from there, and because it's initial, what it will do, that it will give the enter some value. And another field, you can see that another field is now grayed out. Okay, now grayed out. So what we will do in order to avoid that grayed out, what we can do in order to avoid that grayed out things, Just we have discussed. Can any one of you please tell me what we'll have to do it over here in order to avoid that grayed out? Quickly, fast.
You write the
I think
code in chain and chain.
yes, write the code inside the chain and end chain. Very, very important, chain and end chain. But before that, we can also write, we must have to specify the second field also. Then only this will work. If you don't specify, it will not work. Okay. So module, the same validation the same module you can use for the purpose of validation of the second field as well. Okay. The same module. Under this module, you can come and you can write the code. You can write here the code like this, second underscore n. So first underscore n is initial, or the second underscore n is initial. If any one of these is initial, then it will ask that both the field is mandatory. Okay. Just save it, check the syntax, activate this one. It got activated. Right click and activate this, run this one and come over here, give this value 1 and 2 over here, press enter. Okay, press F8. You can see both the field is mandatory. Why? It's showing both the field is mandatory. We have given the value over here, both the field is mandatory. Okay, I got the problem. Okay, and that's the reason the first one was also not working. Okay, that's the reason the first one was also not working. Okay, press enter. So see here, the first underscore n, one is there, the second underscore n, it's coming as the blank, right? First underscore n is 1 and the second underscore n is coming as blank. So the separately what you will have to do, you will have to write the code. At this point of time, the second underscore n field is not accessible. Okay, that's why it's giving the error. So how you cannot write like this. You cannot write like this. What you can do that, you can go over here, go to this 100 and go here in the change mode. You cannot use the same module for the purpose of validation for the same, uh, for the same field. It is not possible. Okay, it will create the problem. It will create the problem. Okay, or suppose if you want to use, you will have to logically, determine like how you are going to write the logic. Okay, so what I mean to say that if you go inside this validation, you don't have to write like this. Okay, you don't have to write like this. Somehow, suppose if you are going to write even here the logic like this, if second underscore n is initial and end if, okay, put the full stop. When the first field will, when the first field, when the first time for the first field, how the flow will be there, it will come over here at this field and it will call this one. So the both the logic is going to run together, right? So if you can manage that one in some way by putting some flag and all, then you can do. Otherwise it's better to use the separate, you know it's better to use the separate module. Okay, so here I'm just going to accordingly change the message. First, this first number is mandatory. First number is mandatory. Okay, so just save it, go to this 100 and I will use this validation one. Another module I will just create. Okay, so now this should work fine. Okay, copy this one and paste it over here, second underscore n. Save it, check the syntax, activate this one, activate. It got activated. Right click over here and activate. click on this transaction, run this and give the value over here. Now I'm going to give some value 2, and here I'm going to give some value 4. Press enter, and you can see that this time there is no error is coming, right? I will just put the breakpoint and I will show you how this is, how the flow is there, how this flow is going to work. Okay, put the breakpoint over here and here also. Run this, come over here and give some value 3 and give some value 4 over here. Press enter. 3 and 4. First is 3. You can see the first is 3 over here for the first time. Here you can see the validation is getting triggered. You can click over here and you can see from this particular place that this module got triggered. Okay, so you can double click over here and you can see from where it is getting called. Okay, now now here the first underscore n3 it's capturing. Earlier it was not capturing because in the first field it was not taking place. That's the reason. Okay, press F5 and the now second field, second underscore n, for this field the second underscore n value is now coming 4, and you can see that the second underscore 4 is, this error will come when it is going to be blank. That's why error is not coming. But if you give some value as a blank and if you press enter, it will give you the error. It will give you the error that first number is mandatory. Okay, the message will have to change the same message because I have used, that's why it's giving the misleading message. So in order to remove that particular message, you can write over here the second number is mandatory for the second field, right? Second number, just save it, check the syntax, activate this, run this one, and now it will give you the proper message 4 and 7. Okay, press enter and press F8. Remove this one, now it's not required. You understood the flow. Press F8 and you can see that there is no error. But if you remove this 7, press F8, press enter, and you can see that second number is mandatory, it is telling, and the first one got grayed out. Okay, so this is how you can do. Suppose this 7 7 I have given some valid value over here, right? You can see that valid value and press enter, this got grayed out. Similarly, you can write the logic based upon your requirement. Okay, suppose if you don't want to enter the value more than 1000 in this first number, right? So that logic also you can write. Just go back, go to this 100 and here go into the change mode. First n is greater than 1000. Okay, if first underscore n is greater than 1000, then you have to tell please enter less than 1000, please enter maximum value 1000. Okay, maximum 1000 is only allowed. Okay, the second field, if we are going to enter some people over here also more than 1000 or 10,000, depends on you what you want to do. Okay, here please enter max value 1000 type E. Okay, save it, check it, activate it, run this one, press F8 and come over here. The first number I'm going to give 1001. Okay, some more than 1000, 10,001 I have given. So please enter maximum value 1000 is only allowed. Okay, here this is fine. If we're giving the correct value less than 1000, it's fine. But the problem over here, you can see once again that if we're giving the maximum value, the another field is getting grayed out. Okay, so avoid this issue. What you will do, you are now expert in this, right? You will just put chain and end chain, that's it. Chain and end chain. Inside the chain and end chain, you are going to put this one. Very important interview question, please remember this one. Okay, so just go to this transaction, come this one, press F8 and give this value 200 and 300 over, just give this 20,000, more than 10,000, press enter. You can see that it's enabled. Okay, that's the magic of chain and end chain. So the module level validation we have seen. The this particular value, was creating the problem, right? This I will check what is the issue. Now the next thing, once again I will go and I will ask some question to you. Okay, I will ask some question to you. Just give this answer over here. Suppose the screen number over here is 500. This screen number over here is 500, let us suppose. Okay, and this is, when the first time you will call, this one, this is your PBO, right? This is your PBO. And when you are going to take this action, your PAI is going to be triggered. Your PAI is going to be triggered. Now, my question is here, if you have taken the action on this 500 screen, right? If you have pressed enter, right? So your PAI got triggered. After this PAI, will it again trigger this PBO? My question is this, will it again trigger this PBO? Okay, can any one of you tell me? My question is,
Yeah, sir.
so this will again trigger, right? This will again trigger this. So after this PAI, this will again trigger the
PBU.
PBO, right? This will again trigger the PBO. How to put this one? Okay, so after this PAI, again it will trigger this PBO. Okay, so you'll have to remember in the same way as it happens in the report. In report, if you remember that the very first event on the field, if you are going to take some action on the field, right? If you are going to validate some field, so at selection screen on value, at selection screen on field, the field name will have to give. So this is the field name, and this is the first event. Then at selection screen, then at selection screen output, at selection screen output, it gets triggered. So this is the sequence in the event. If you compare with this event, okay, so at selection screen on field, so this is for validation purpose, this is for the validation purpose we use. Here we are using the field command for the validation purpose under the PAI. Okay, this is under the report. At selection screen, if we are going to, this is for the specific field. This is for the specific field if you want to do the validation. Okay, for the set of fields, if you are going to do the validation or the entire screen, you can use this at selection screen, right? So this is like, this is like PAI, both is like PAI, process after input. And here the at selection screen output, this is like PBO, process before output. Okay, so you can compare like this. Okay, fine. So this is now clear. Let's go to the syllabus, and here drop down. Okay, so one important part here, we have completed this one, and the flow logic validation, this I will I try to identify what is the problem. The drop down value, how to get the drop down. Okay, come over here and we'll try to understand how we can create a drop down value. Go over here, go into this layout, and suppose if you want to create a drop down list. Okay, suppose if you want to create a drop down list, so you have to choose this input output field. Okay, there is no separate some tool where you can do like that. Come over here and drop down demo. I can use this drop down demo, drop down demo, and that's it. Just save it and double click over here. Where that gone? Okay, no, we have not written any name over here. Drop down, we'll just give this name drop down, and the text is not required over here. And here you can see that the drop down option is here, right? So just select from here list box or list box with key. If you want to use the key, okay, you can use this list box with key, and simply if you want to use the list box only, you can use this one. Anything you can select. As soon as you will select this one, you can see that this option is coming over here, this drop down. So this is how you can use the drop down. Just save it, go to this flow logic once again, and here suppose if you have to populate some value, then what you will have to do, that you will have to use one function module called vrm set values, as we have used in the report, right? In the report also we have seen how to populate a drop down value. Okay, so how to do that, so for doing that, what you will have to do that, what you will have to do that, vrm set values, go to the function module called sc37 and vrm underscore set underscore values. You'll have to come over here and click on this display value, come to this import parameter, and here you can see the id and values. Id and values, we are having the two import parameter to set the value as a drop down on the screen. Okay, so first we'll prepare this id and values in form of internal table, right? First we'll prepare this id and values in form of internal table, and then we will pass those to that particular screen field with the help of this function module. Okay, so we will see this one tomorrow. Okay, how to populate this drop down, uh, and then there are so many things still left. We'll see one by one. With this we can stop. Okay, still we have some 2 or 3 minutes more. Let me try to do some more stuff over here. Just a second. Go back, go to this screen painter over here, and where to write that logic, actually where you would like to write those logic. Okay, so first you will have to define, right? First you will have to define that particular screen field, so that that particular screen field will be able to communicate with this program. So suppose some value you are going to put it, all right? So what you can do over here, go to this 100 and go to this layout. We have already given the name, right? This name drop down, we have given the name. So this name is going to uh, this name is going to play the important role. Okay, this name is going to play the important role. This name is nothing but your id of this screen element. Okay, so when we are going to call this particular function module, we will pass that drop down as a id. Okay, we'll pass that drop down as a id, and where we will do, in which module we will do, can any one of you Tell me under which module we are going to do. Under the PBO, because all the screen refreshing logic should be there under the PBO. So here module set values or set drop down value, we can write set drop down value. Double click over here, click on this yes, go here, click on this OK button, yes, and here set drop down. Here we are going to write the logic. Okay, here we are going to write the logic. So how to write this logic? We can create one subroutine. Okay, we can create one perform over here, populate value, something like that, populate values. Double click over here. So what value we are going to populate? The value which we are going to populate it over here. Once again, you can go to the function module, go to AC37, go to here, and this value actually we are going to pass. Okay, VRM values. Okay, double click on this and you can see this is nothing but your internal table. Here you have the key and here you will have the text. Okay, if you double click this VRM value, this is having key and this is having text, key and text. Okay, so this is a type group. We know about the type group. What is the type group? Okay, now you can populate, we can first prepare the value and then we can prepare this particular internal table. Okay, come to this ABAP editor over here, and in here at global level we are going to prepare the internal table. So I'm going to prepare the internal table IT underscore values type table of, or directly you can use the type because you are having the come over here, VRM value. This is the type associated with, what is this? This is a table type, right? This is a table type. So VRM values I'm going to use directly over here. Type this one, so it will become my internal table, full stop. And one work area also I would require W underscore values like line of IT underscore values. Okay. Now come over here, WA underscore values hyphen control space. Why nothing is coming? Values spelling is wrong, that's why nothing is coming. Control space, the key is coming. Key I can give as a 1. Okay, full stop, WA underscore values hyphen the text I'm going to give 1 over here. What you want to select, right? 1. Then append this, append WA underscore values to IT underscore values. Similarly, just 2 or 3 fields you can pass it over here. Control V, 2, and here also we can give the 2. Copy this one and paste it over here. Okay. Three. And once it is going to populate, we are going to call this VRM set values. VRM set values. So what's the ID? ID is nothing but the name of the, that particular field. So drop down, we have keep the name and the values IT underscore values, and we will just check it's working or not. Okay, comment this, uncomment this exception, check the syntax. Some error is there, IT underscore values typo. We'll just correct it. Values, control F2, activate this one, activate, right click and activate. Come over here and run this. Okay, you can see that it's getting populated nicely, 1 2 3, right? You can see 1 2 3 is coming over here. How it's coming? 1 2 3, it's coming with the help of VRM set values. You can go back and you can put the breakpoint over here in order to just understand how it's working. Put the breakpoint over here. Now go once again, and you can see that when I'm running this set drop down here itself, it's getting triggered, right? Press F5, 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 right? F6, 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 F6. It's working, and this is setting the value, right? Press F8, and that's why it is setting the value. That's why it's setting the value. You can see that it's setting the value. Okay, and you just, if you press enter, you can see that again 1 2 3 1 2 3. This is another problem. It is happening. How to avoid this problem? If you press enter, it will, it will come the another value. It will come another value if you press enter. Okay, another set of 1 2 3. So how to avoid this problem? For this, you will have to write some
Yeah.
extra logic. Yeah, sorry.
Clear this one also, no? Means whatever we have
Every time,
written.
yes, every time before PBO, you will have to clear, or else better than clear, what you can do, with respect to performance, keeping performance in mind, what you can do, that when the first time your PBA, what you can do, you can create one, you can create one flag, data gv underscore flag type char1. Okay, and when the first time it is going to set it, the value over there, after setting the value, if gv underscore flag is initial, at that point of time, what you can do, that gv underscore flag equals to x, you can mark, and this particular stuff, this populate underscore values, okay, this you can do only if it is blank. gv underscore flag is initial, then only you are supposed to perform this. Okay, that's the better way from performance point of view. There can be several ways, but this is the best way. The clear also you can do, but every time again it's going to do this one. Why to do every time? Not required, right? Every time is not required if you have already populated the value. So, but that is also one way you can do. If you come over here now, you can see 1 2 3 is fine, but if you select some value from here and press enter, this time it will not populate. Okay, you can see that it's not populating, right? In the duplicate value is not coming. Why? Because I have set the flag over there. You can just put the deep breakpoint over there and you can just check it. Okay, tomorrow we will try to explore this drop down value in the different way. What we will do, that when you are going to select some particular value from the drop down, okay, when you are going to select some particular value, for example 2, so for this 2, you know uh, for this 2, based upon this 2, suppose if you have to populate some value over here, what we will do, that we will create one, we will create one more screen over here. Okay, and suppose if we're going to select this 2, the meaning of 2 means you want to see the list of purchase order. Okay, the meaning of 3 means you want to see the list of sales order. Okay, so what we will do, for the 1 we will put the purchase order, for 2 we will put the list order. So instead of this 1 2 or 3 we have written, no, so at place of 1 2 or 3 we will see the list of purchase order, list of sales order, list of, means we will take some real-time example and we'll try to see, as soon as you will select that particular things, the corresponding value will populate over here in the screen. That's the agenda for tomorrow. Let's go to the assignment part. We'll stop our session over here, go to the assignment part, and there we'll try to see what we are supposed to do under the assignment. Okay, so in assignment also you'll have to do the same thing what we have done. over here. Okay, you have already created some program. You have already created some program, right? So you have a screen over here. You are ready with a screen. What you have to do, you have to use the all three techniques. The second technique I was not able to show you successfully, so you can ignore that one. Okay, or you can try to find out how you can do yourself. Also, you can try. You can just try to Google it out. However, I'm going to show you tomorrow. But just if you want to put your effort, you can also put. Okay, and here, you know, the field you have some employee ID, something like that. Employee ID, some age, gender, male, right? You have the field over here, gender, or something like the name. Okay, first name, last name, like that. You already have. So now what actually I'm trying to tell it over here, that you have to use the different validation technique to validate this field. Okay, so the first validation technique, what you have, the first one is the mandatory property. This you know, so you can ignore this one. Required field from the screen property. Required field from the screen property. You can leave this one. This is not required. Second one, if you want to explore yourself, please explore. Okay, the flow logic validation. Flow logic validation. The third one is the most important one. Second one is also the important one. Third one is the most important one. Okay, here the module pool validation. So how to use this module pool validation? You will have to use the field command, then you will have to give the field name. Okay, you will have to give the field name, and then you will have to give the module. So give the separate module. It's a better practice. It's a SAP means a better standard practice for each field. Define the separate module. Okay, so you can see that when I was using the same module, it was giving the problem. So better to use the separate module. Yeah, everywhere you will see in the separate module all the field is getting validated. Okay, so validation one, you can give the name of this particular module, validation one, or any a valid name you can give, validation one. Similarly, for another field also you can do field, another field, the another field name 2 you can give, and then module you can give, and then the validation 2 you can create another module, and here you can write the validation. Okay, so like that you will have to do the validation. Once you are done with the validation, in the fourth step, use the chain command, use the chain and end chain to avoid the grayed out problem, to avoid the another field to be grayed out. Okay, fifth, what you do, that you write the answer and share in the group what is the difference between field command and chain command. Please do this one. Okay, this one is the most important. Okay, this one is the most important. Please do this one. Okay, take the screenshot of this. I will put this one in the Excel. Take this screenshot, take quickly the screenshot. Okay, I'm going to put this one in Excel and I will upload later. Okay, so I will be upload soon. Nowadays I'm getting quickly the videos downloaded from this GoToMeeting. Okay, so I will upload after 1 or 2 hours like that. You can go through the video, and let's meet tomorrow. If you have any other question, please feel free to ask. Yes, go ahead if you have any question. I think there is no question. We can stop it over here. Okay, fine then. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Take care.